So welcome guys, मैं हूँ आपका host और दोस्त पुलकित today and we are joined for the Spurs preview. It's a big game against Tottenham. After a frustrating draw against Newcastle, we are here to face Antonio's Conte, high-flying Tottenham Hotspur. And I would like to welcome Abhishar Bhai, Saksham Bhai, Vaibhav Bhai and Abhijit Bhai to this meeting. And hello guys, hope you guys are doing well, ggmu. So
What's up,
starting with
GGMU?
uh, starting with Vaibhav. So, Vaibhav, what's your a short review on the earlier game and what's the learning points for the upcoming game?
Wow. I think for now, there is no short preview of learning about, games which United are playing because they're making so many mistakes and, we need to sort of, we need to sort of get into the groove so many times. Yes, we've won games, but I don't think we've won it that convincingly. Like, against Ammonia or Everton, these games, we did play well at times, but we need to be more convincing. And, now we are facing a team like Tottenham, second in the league, I think second or third. They're on the Premier League points table. Very good side. I mean, Antonio Conte is doing a really, really good job. You know, Antonio Conte is doing a really good job. Like, yes, they can be vulnerable at times, but then Conte has got them organized. He's got Harry Kane playing in a very, very good way. Harry Kane's been prolific for Tottenham this time around. The defense, there are some shades of problem in that defense, but then we need to understand one thing is Tottenham sit deep. We saw against Newcastle. Newcastle in the second half, they were sitting deep, and we couldn't really sort of counter attack in a very good way. We couldn't really finish our chances. When Newcastle was sitting deep, United were going for the
Mhm.
goal to, sort of kill the game. We were not able to do that. And the worry factor for me is that was Newcastle. With all due respect, Newcastle right now is not on the level of a Tottenham, right? So when a Tottenham with a manager like Conte, who's mastered the skill of, sitting deep, attacking on the counter, and doing so well, I just find it a very, very worried time because it's very important that we win this game, for our top four chances. Because you see our post international break, we haven't had that many good results. You know, we need to take out a point because next we have a game against Chelsea also, which is going to be very, very hard. So two tough games. I don't know. It's very hard days to come by, I think.
So coming to Abhijit Bhai, first of all, welcome Bhai. So Abhijit, there's some interesting stats that Antonio's Conte, Tottenham have lost just one game out of the other Premier League games. जब से मतलब Antonio Conte ने in charge लिया इस team को. We all know Spurs was struggling, when they were under Nuno. Then Conte came up, they got to the that Champions League spot, and again they are being in that top half of the Premier League this time. And of course, it is also thing that Conte ने कभी United को हराया नहीं है अभी last 3 matches से, to be honest. So, is there any good point to be taken? This key Conte के stats against United is not that good, and also Spurs ने भी United को last 2 matches में हराया नहीं था जो हमारे हुए थे. So, is it a positive thing और कुछ आप changes चाहते हैं हमारी इस team में जो इस बार खेलेगी?
I think Conte has done a very good job in gelling the team. He has united the whole team of Spurs, and they have really gelled up, and they have brought a system in the team that they, one type they complement each other and they support each other in any situation, even if they have been countered or if they are countering any team. So
Mhm.
that that is the thing that we have to be very careful about it, because once they counter in a very lethal way. The Son, you can say the Son, Harry Kane, or Kulusevski, the
Mhm.
three musketeers, I would say, they have just really gelled up in the attack, and they have really complemented each other, and they can be a lethal to United defense. Conte has also improved their some of the defense, back three and their wing backs. They really help in the midfield to, Bisuma. You can say Bisuma, or you can say Fantancourt. They really complement each other, and they support each other. That's why they have a very good mix of a team that can be a very lethal for us. That's
Okay,
that's what I see positive from them.
that's really good point. So coming to Saksham bhai, I have some good news and bad news. That good news ये है कि रोनाल्डो ने इनके अगेंस्ट हैट्रिक मारा था लास्ट टाइम, that historic hat-trick. But also a doubtful thing that Christian Eriksen is still out, and Martial is doubtful from the bench also. So it will make Ronaldo start against Spurs, and we can see Fred and Casemiro starting in the midfield. So do you feel that Fred should be off and McTominay and Casemiro should be tried with Bruno Fernandes? Or if the Van de Beek is fit, he can be getting a shot after 45 minutes.
So I think that Eriksen, like not playing in this game would be a huge blow for us. To control the midfield, I think alongside a proper CDM like Casemiro or McTominay, like you need someone with that gel that who can like break the line and make some good passes, form triangles here and there. So that would be a big blow. If Marshall comes back, it would be a good thing. Like we can try him on the number 10 position and like do something around as a false nine and stuff. Last year, yeah, Ronaldo scored a hat trick against Spurs, but that was different United to this Ten Hag team. Like we haven't still got some insights like how Ten Hag would really like to play, but still that was a very chaotic situation back then when Ronaldo scored. I would love to like have Eriksen in the team, but I think that Eric Ten Hag would go with Fred and Casemiro in the midfield because he won't like put McTominay and Casemiro because we both know that when it's like to press high and like that energy that Fred gives us, it's a different vibe. He can like dribble past here and there, which McTominay and Casemiro are like uh, not that good in like dribbling past players and all. Like and he's a left-footed player too. And I see in the Tenak team that he gives preference to the players' feet that in which position they will certainly play. So let's see what happens. I hope Marshall comes back because from the Newcastle game, there are two players I crave in this team that are Donny van der Beek in the CM position. I would be benching Bruno if Donny comes back, and Anthony Martial. Both can make a huge difference. I think those two players are out and out Ten Hag's player. So let's see what happens again. And I would like to also mention that Harry Kane is a very great threat to us right now. Like no one is talking about how he scored. He's the second highest scorer in the league right now, just after Haaland. He scored 9 goals. So like he would be like if Tottenham creates some chances, good enough chances, there's a man who can finish them well. So it's a fear factor for us that Harry Kane is in a good form. So let's see how we can approach this game. I think Ten Hag would use the same tactic to hit on the counters and use long balls for this game, and Chelsea too because they're two tough games on a short period of time. So let's see, go for the best.
That's really like good point, like Saksham said. So coming to Avishar भाई बात सही बोली है that Tottenham have amazing for finishing. Tottenham की finishing अच्छी चल रही है, हमारी finishing बहुत वैसी चल रही है. So we all know that Tottenham right now has the best trio in the attack. Like proper अगर आप देखो Son, Richarlison and Kane, like Richarlison is out, so maybe Kulowski, Son and Kane might start up front, and that would be a really competition for our dicey defense. Our defense has been solid this season. I have no question. But I have that question in that midfield to be honest. कि अगर हम दो CDM के साथ जाएंगे और एक CM के साथ जाएंगे या फिर we will go for a box to box player like McTominay or Van de Beek. तो अभिषार भाई आपके इस बारे में क्या views है? Should we try a player like Van de Beek up because Christian Eriksen is out unfortunately?
The thing is that I as far as reports are there, I don't see Van der Beek making into the squad. He's a bit struggling with the injuries. That is the first part. And second part for which you've mentioned, yes, we need someone who will cover most of the distance. If we would get Fred, that is very good. Because thing with that with the contest side, you can see proper 5 defensive players. That will be their back 3 and midfield they would be having 2. So proper 5 defensive player. If you'll see the stats, they have not conceded much, though they have not scored much. That I understand. There have been matches in the crunch matches where they could make 1-0 or 2-0. There was only, I think, the Leicester match in which Son has scored hat trick. Apart from that, they have not been like a very exuberant in the attack. Most of the matches which they have won, they have been very, solid defensively, which is like trademark of Conte's style of play. He play with those players, the high flying wing backs, Perisic and now Doherty is playing. So they would be they would be getting into boxes in some of those positions. So we need to cover. We'll be requiring a huge shift from our wingers. That would be Tony and Rashford, if I believe, for the starting 11. So we would be requiring a huge shift from them, because covering up the wing backs from the Conte's 11, yes, that would be big task. So I don't think that there will be huge impact onto midfield, if you will ask me, because I think that this game is going to more be on the sides of pitch rather than on the midfield. So it will be based on to that because of Conte.
That's really true point, Abhishar, right? So coming to Weber, bro. So let's predict the lineups for both of them. Okay, as we have analyzed some matches, so it's always very good to pick Tottenham's backline because they have lots of options there. We all know they have Emerson Royal, they have Perisic who's playing, they have Doherty, they have Sessegnon. Then we also know that Tottenham ka jo attack, it also got the depth same as the midfield. So Weber, by what will be according to you the predicted Tottenham lineup for you if you start from defense to attack and goalkeeping?
Wow, I mean Tottenham. I think one thing we need to sort of credit Antonio Conte is how he's been watertight with that defense, how he's been watertight with that team, and the clarity which he's given him. I think Tottenham play would go with a back five. I think Romero, Dyer, and Ben Davis would be there with Lloris in goal. I'm not really sure about Matt Doherty. He's had atrocious times with Tottenham so far. So I'm not really sure about Matt Doherty as to whether he fits into the plan or not. Hoiberg has massively improved. In fact, we all talk about our midfield and the issues committing our midfield and flaking it. I think somebody like a Hoiberg could be a real threat. In that midfield battle. Hoiberg and Bentancur, they really complement each other. And Ivan Perisic, oh my God, I mean, the guy has been a revelation. He's been that. He's been that fullback, who can go and attack, and he's been very good with his defensive duties as well. And that's how Conte is. He's sort of changed the attributes of those players, and he's got them to play his style of football. Which Eric Ten Hag still hasn't managed to do. So that is very, very important. And yeah, obviously Richarlison is injured out of this team, so I think Kulusevski gets a gig this time around with Kane and Son. But with changes, me I do like the look of DJ Spence. The guy from Nottingham Forest. He was in Nottingham Forest before. Very very good right back. I desperately wanted United to get him. DJ Spence should or could get in ahead of Matt Doherty. And maybe, just maybe, I don't think, but Bentancur, I don't think he had particularly a very good game. So, maybe you could put in a Bissouma, who's been good against United when he's played for Brighton, especially last thing in the previous season when, Brighton hammered us. So, yeah, I think those could be the two changes. Otherwise, I don't see any changes. And yeah, with United, except the injury problems I think Eric and I would also go with the same lineup.
So let's switch to the predicted, scores. What will be our final scores and the scorers? Starting with Abhishar bhai. So Abhishar bhai, आपका predicted score क्या होगा full time का और scorers कौन होंगे? And किसकी इस बार ball होगी? Eric Ten Hag की या Conte की?
I think it should be like a 1-1 or 2-1 sort of match. Like most likely it will be like either it would be 1-1 or it would be 2-1 sort of match, with 2-1 going into our favor because of history that is being carried for the part of Antonio Conte not being very successful in Old Trafford, maybe because of all the atmosphere that is there. So it might be with the 2-1. And for the goal scorer, yes, Kane, obvious. You cannot overlook for, I think that if you'll count onto humans, yes, Kane would be on top of Premier League scoring list. We are not considering Haaland any further in this conversation. And from our side, yes, I want Ronaldo to get into score sheet because he has a bit knack of getting into when the pressure or the importance of match gets higher, he usually scores. So I'd be expecting Ronaldo and Kane to be my scorer, and match would be 2-1 in favor of United.
Coming to Saksham bhai.
I agree with most of the stuff Abhishar bhai said. Like it would be a close game, and I am not predicting a win. I think either it's a draw or we lose. I don't see us because we don't take our chances. We like what happened in the Newcastle game. We were just like not brave enough to make a pass. We are not brave enough to like go on the front foot and snatch the game out. And with this Tottenham team in the form they are, we are not on a good run of form. After that 2 games, we started to lose and drop points. So Tottenham are in a good form. Conte demands his players like, come on, give me the win, snatch it out. We somewhat lack to Tottenham. So I think it would be a draw. I think it's a good result for me, around a 1-1 or a 2-2. But if I don't see us winning this game. So if I say about the scorers, I think Harry Kane definitely would be on the score sheet. From our team, I think if like Ten Hag plays Rashford in the middle from the start, I think Rashford could grab something on the counter. And from Tottenham, I think Son can score as well. So let's see. I hope that we win, but I just don't see us winning.
Abhijit bhai, a pretty spicy, prediction by Saksham bhai. So if you want to add some spice into it, you can, or you can say something good. It's all right.
I would say 3-1 United. United will win.
Dekha. This spice was
Yes, because history tells us, because Conte really battles against United in that way. Midweek games. You saw this history. Abhishar bhai said the same. I would not repeat itself, but sometimes I would say 3-1 definitely. I would say if we play false nine tactics against Tottenham, then definitely बड़े भैया को अगर 45 मिनट्स के बाद भी खिलाओगे तो भी 3-1 ही जीतेंगे, और पहले भी डालोगे तो भी 3-1 ही जीतेंगे. So definitely I would say 3-1.
That's our bhai. That's a Desai bhai. That's for That's good. Chalo. That's good for motivation. Actually, I saved
Abhijit
Weber for
bhai,
last because I actually saved Weber for
scorers
last.
तो बता दो अभिजीत भाई.
Scorers, बड़े भाई.
अगर you see, if you play Rashford, Elanga and Antony, then definitely Antony will score. Definitely Rashford will also score, and बड़े भैया will add सोने पे सुहागा, or you can say cherry on the cake.
So coming to
Kane,
Weber,
Kane
so
will
we
Kane
got
will
it.
definitely Kane will definitely
वो
find a
हमारे
penalty
FPL
in
में
our
उसको score
box.
करना पड़ेगा. वो हमारे FPL में he has to score. He's in everyone's FPL. He has to score.
Kane really knows how to take the penalties from our boxes. He has that tactic against
Bro,
every team.
good one. So coming to Weber last. Okay, सबके मैंने views सुन लिए. One spicy, one 3-1 पूरा confident, one going like masterclass की ये draw हो जाएगा and we will snitch it out. What's your about it? Frank चाहिए मेरे को. No fan view this time because we are having preview, not review.
Frank. Well, I can see it a boring nil-nil game, to be very honest, or I can see it a 1-1, at the very best, I can just fancy our chances, like Tottenham sit back and, we go for the attack. But then considering how offbeat we have been with our attacking options and converting those chances, I think this game has, a 1-1 or a nil-nil written all over it. But then again, you never know, maybe a magic moment from Anthony, maybe that, his those tactics, and maybe one of those through balls for Rashford, maybe one of those poacher situations for, Cristiano, or, Bruno hits a very good Bollywood, sorry, a very good Hollywood shot, and, it goes inside. But it can go other way around, But yeah, if you ask me a complete frank opinion, I can see it a 1-1 or a nil-nil. But yeah, the United fan in me would want a 1-0 anyhow. Tottenham, good side, top four, strong manager, good team. 90th minute dodgy penalty, 1-0 would do for me. Anything, any tactics would do.
मेरा प्रेडिक्शन इज प्रीटी देसी. अपना घर का टर्फ है, मार के जाएंगे और जो आएगा उसको हरा के जाएंगे. सो इट्स इन आवर होम. It's our home. We have to win it. Away hota to I would have accepted that draw. Even Newcastle draw is like lose to me, so I'm taking a win. Like 1-0 low, a dirty 1-0 low, foul leke VAR ko bolo 1-0 low. I need a win, to be honest. We want to get in that top 4 before going to World Cup. So that's my prediction, guys. ये सबकी prediction थी. Thank you for joining, everyone. It was really a good preview. Hope we win against Tottenham. दिल पे हाथ रख के बोल रहा हूँ, जीत सकते हैं यार. Please, बहुत हो गया अब तैनात. बड़े भाई score GGMU. Viva Ronaldo.
GGMU.
GGMU.
Adios.